to die with his mission without him knowing about it, and we sold some methamphetamine. Isn't that a productive session? So this one, like I said in the end of the last one, probably just going to go ahead and sell my cocaine, just get it out of the way because I'm saving up for the Aquila. I have had the Aquila 2 or 3 times before, but when I've sold it, bought it, that sort of thing. You know, how it happens in GTA. One day you want something, next day you don't. But I want to collect like an arsenal of militarized vehicles, just to have them, that sort of thing. But yeah, how you guys doing today? If it's still the same day that I uploaded the last episode, then I already know. I need to give a big thank you to someone. Now I'm not going to name names because they've asked me not to name names, but they've, you know, I went through a lot of shit with anxiety and depression. Now this was because, well, you guys know, I've been wanting to talk about this subject for a while on my channel, so yeah, let's get on to it. It's about me, my personal life, my personal affairs and things like that. It's not deep personal, so I'd never take offense to it if you guys want to try to offend me, because I know people are like that. Humans are assholes, we all are, we all can be, we all have been. And if you say you haven't, you're a fucking liar, which makes you an asshole. So, yeah, anyway, so for the last 24 months before, so where are we now? So it's about 20, it's about 40 months ago. About 40 months ago now, I did a back injury in a game of rugby. Now I was a keen, avid rugby player. I used to play every week. I used to go to training every weekend, and I used to love it. I'd never miss a session, but I was tackled in an incorrect position, and it damaged my back. So I wasn't able to play properly anymore, which put me out of a proper job for 24 months, I think. It took my back deal, 24, 25 months. So I was sat at jobs in a retail store, literally, one vehicle, nice. Literally, day in, day out serving customers. And now that's a really depressing environment to be in. It's not a very nice place, it's a very dark area. Now for anyone who has had anxiety or depression, feel free to message me on Xbox. Please do that. If you need to talk to somebody about stuff you're going through, I'm a good listener, we can talk back, we can give you my life experiences, and I've also got friends who've been through a lot in their lives as well. So yeah, I went through a lot of depression. I put on a lot of weight. I put on a lot of weight. We're talking, if you're from the United Kingdom, I went up to 28 stone, which is 398 pounds, something ounces. Or if you know, in the European regions, 177 kilograms. So, yeah, I know what it's like to be depressed, having people calling you fat, having this, having that. The reason I haven't got my camera anymore isn't because of this, so please don't think that. It's because I haven't got a clue where it is. Like I said, we moved, I got reset up, I did make a few episodes, and I don't know where my my camera is at the moment. It's in here somewhere, but it's in one of the boxes. I had a big move around in my room and put everything into a box, and it's in there somewhere. But I will be getting that out for future videos, so we'll be setting it back up, because I enjoy having my face on there. You know, people can take the mess out of me and things like that. But so recently, through the depression, you know, I didn't have a full-time job when we first moved here, and that is something that can be soul-crushing for some people. If you're someone like me who was raised in a family where you work for what you earn and everything like that, and you work so you can live and you enjoy work, it's really depressing not having a full-time job. I was in and out of jobs, and you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Thank you, Mick Craker, because you really changed my life, dude. You really changed my life, and I want to say thank you. I know you may not watch this, I know you may not get a chance to watch this, Mick, but thank you. Anyone in the Worthing area, Worthing, Tarring, Goring-on-Sea, Brighton, hit up MR Craker Plastering and Building Services on Facebook. If you need any work done, loft conversions, plastering, whatever, please feel free to hit them up. I'll include a link in the description with the phone number. And yeah, also I'll include the number to a help hotline for people with anxiety and depression. So a lot of people still at my work today say sorry. Like, I was pulled aside the other day because I'd not made a bed in the correct way. Now, because at home we have mattresses with the sheets on them are on like the springy material, and you just pop them over the corners of the bed, and that's it. Now, so I'm not used to folding sheets, so I've tucked the sheet under the bed, and I'd left one side where there was too much, and one side where there was too little. So I'm going, oh, I'm sorry to the people who then say, you don't have to say it. You know, it's a mistake that everybody makes every now and again. Don't worry about it. And that's the reason, that's another thing I want to say is thank you, Nick. That's another reason why, because you taught me a lot. You boosted my confidence. People at my work think I'm a confident person, even though, even now I still have a little bit of that anxiety. I still have a little bit of that, where you just feel like you're in a dark space and, you know, your head sort of closes off and you just want to be really shy to the world. And I know what that's like for people. So anyone who watches this who has an issue, please feel free to come and talk to me. Hit me up on Xbox. Send me a message. I'll invite you to a party and we'll have a chat, because that's the best way to cure it. The only way you can beat anxiety or depression is by having other people who've been in the same situation around you give you advice, and that's what happened to me. I called I'll add a link to the number for this help with depression and anxiety below. It's a UK-based hotline. I'll see if I can find one for the US with good ratings and stuff like that, so I'll include that as well for people who watch in the US. But yeah, I went through a hard time. Now, I was blessed enough to have my mother and my beautiful wife-to-be behind me, helping me, talking to me, helping me out and stuff like that. And a lot of people I know haven't got that, so that's why I want to give out support and love. That's what we need more of in this world, is sharing and caring. That's what we need more of, not, oh, I'm better than this than you, and blah, 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 and people just being assholes. I've had enough of that on this planet. There is enough shit going on without people being horrible to one another, so I want to start spreading love. So I'm going to be creating a Facebook group. Probably going to call it something like Feel the Love or Spread the Love or something like that. And it's not no homophobic stuff, or no, because I know a lot of American people go, oh, no homo, gay. This all the time, which does get me, but I understand it's culture, it's how people are, it's where they live, it's how it works there, which, you know, I'm not going to dispute. And yeah, you know, I'm gonna, if anyone needs to talk to me, feel free to hit me up on Xbox. My gamer tag is exactly the same as my YouTube channel, Big Bear Search. Just hit me up, message me. My Voxer is the same. Voxer's a mobile app which is kind of like Facebook Messenger, except you can like live talk. So you hold the button, it's like a walkie-talkie button, and I start talking, and my friend Eldura, who you guys know, he will hear me. Oh, excuse me, hiccup, as I'm talking. So yeah, hit me up on that, hit me up on Voxer. I'm going to be making myself a Facebook page soon, so you'll be able to hit me up on that. I apologise if I get 60 people message me, please don't expect an instant response. I will try my best to respond as soon as possible. And like I say, if I don't reply for a few days, because I've not been on Xbox, please don't, you know, some messages say, oh, you're lying and this stuff, because, you know, I'm very busy at work. I'm picking up extra shifts. Like next week, I've got 5 night shifts in a row. So I'm not going to be on Xbox. I don't even think I'll be on it at all. So I'll come home, I'll go to sleep, I'll have something to eat, I'll cycle back to work. It's 5 nights in a row. I mean, what do you expect me to do with this sort of time? And I'm not being rude by saying that, but yeah, anyway. Also, another thing that really gets to me is racism. And I bring this up because there was an instance of, on Xbox. Now, it wasn't really a major issue or anything like that, but because, as you guys know, my friend El Doro Ex Nota, I think it's translated to hard one or something. People just assume he's a Mexican because of the L in the beginning of his name, and that sort of thing really gets to me, because people join the party because, you know, we trolled them or whatever. They're like, oh, you're a effing stupid Mexican, Trump should build a wall around your house and this sort of thing. So, well, hang on a minute, he's a Puerto Rican. He doesn't even need a green card to come to America or anything like that. So what are you talking about, green card and building walls? This dude has as much right to be here as you do. And yeah, that sort of thing gets to me. So for anyone who is a racist, just think about what you're saying. You wouldn't like people saying that sort of shit to you, so you don't say it to them. Simple as that. That's all I'm saying. I'm not trying to, you know, be like, follow him, he's the one, leader and this shit. No, just spread more love, be more compassionate towards your fellow man. We're all human beings. We all need to pull together and sustain one another and help one another. That's the only way we're going to get better on this planet. all these wars and stuff. I mean, another reason why I am bringing this up, and this will be me being 100% honest, is the recent Donald Trump and Kim Jong-un. Kim Jong-il, Kim Jong-un, whatever. Those two shook hands on national live television. Now that is a huge step forward because the tension between the United States and North Korea has been really heavy of recent years. And if you go back in history, the North and South are obviously backed up by the US because they want to be peaceful. They're a peaceful society of people who don't want to wage war or anything like that. Whereas North Korea, everybody knows, would like North and South to join together so they can have under the rule of one province or one person, which in turn would be Kim Jong-un, which it may work, it may be good, but who knows. With the whole nuclear threat, nuclear deterrent and everything like that, when I saw Trump and Kim Jong-un, I know it may not mean anything, it may not go any further, but seeing those two shake hands was an amazing experience for me. It's something I've been feeling really enlightened recently. I feel like I see everything in a different light. So if someone has a go at me, I ask them what their problem is. You know, what are you going through to make you want to have a go at me? And it's like, I blew up someone's cargo shipment the other day. It wasn't deliberately. Because I was chasing someone down while I was in my Hunter, and it happened to lock onto him, and he was on a bike, and I, just held the A button for 5 missiles. As you do, and it goes stuff up. And he then sent me a party invite. He was screaming down, and I ended up, saying to him, look, I can help you. I'll resupply your bunker with you. I'll help you, do your supplies. You haven't got to worry about it. So I did that with him, and look, a week later, we're still talking on Xbox, still chilled out. And that's what we need to do, rather than going, ha ha, D you out, easy, and all this. Not being racist, can I say this, but it's just silly American, jibber jabber or whatever coming through. And I got my 5 or 6 American friends will agree that the whole LZZ thing is just a bunch of immature people, not having a life, and this being their only escape from reality. Because I find the way people play in the game says a lot about how they are in real life. So, for instance, me, when I was going through my anxiety and depression, I was one of those assholes. I was the one going, haha, better than you, you're shit, you'll never beat me. And this other person's like, why are you saying this? It's just a video game, enjoy it. Which is the truth, it is. I find myself not getting half as annoyed with video games now, half as this, half as that. Because I'm back in a situation where I'm living more comfortably. Now when people are in situations where they're going through troubles with, say, a partner, boyfriend or girlfriend, etc., or they're going through issues, family, like mother and father, your mother might have just passed, father might have passed, brother, sister, whatever, or you might have had a major fallout with one of them, they say they don't love you or that anymore. The best thing to do in that sort of situation is to go up to them and just say, I apologise. Be that bigger person, even if you know you've not done anything wrong, even if you know it's not you that's to fault or to blame. The easiest thing to do is just say, I'm sorry. I did that with someone about a month and a half ago now. And admittedly, it was just over Xbox. But I've been speaking to this person for 4.5, 5 years. I knew him before I was playing Xbox. Right? Me and him were PC buddies back when I had a PC. And, we had some sort of argument, and it wasn't my fault. He took something the wrong way, and I said to him at the start, I said, look dude, I didn't mean it like that, but if that's how you're going to take it, that's how you're going to take it. Because he did. So, a few months ago, I said to him, look, messaged him, hit him up, said, hey look, it's me, let's just talk for a while, let's just chill, let's just chat, I'm sorry. I said, if I really offended you that much, I apologise for it. And I was the bigger man in the situation, and then a couple of days ago he came up to me and said, well, maybe I overreacted a bit towards the situation. I was like, well, yeah, I think you did. I think you way overreacted, but, we'll just put it behind us, and that's in the past, and that's all you've got to do. That's all you've got to do, is just shake hands. Forgive it, forget it, that's it, no problems. Now, if it's something a lot more major, like someone's done something to you personally, I can understand how that's a lot harder to forgive. A lot harder to forgive. Someone might have stolen something, someone might have seriously offended a family member, someone may have even caused an altercation where it led to fist fighting or something like that. But I can give you a very good example of forgiveness. Now the Dalai Lama, I've been watching a lot of his videos on YouTube recently, his peace talk videos. Now, one thing that really amazed me was the Dalai Lama, which I didn't know before. I've been educating myself on a lot of different subjects. But the Dalai Lama was taken prisoner from his country by China. He was tortured, he was beaten, he was put down to the ground, he was made to feel as he wasn't a man by the Chinese government when whoever it was in power who invaded Tibet. And after X amount of years, I can't remember exactly how many it was, so I won't quote it, so I'm, not held accountable for incorrect somebody like that. He was held prisoner in China by the Chinese for X amount of years, and the first thing he said when he was released was, "I forgive you, my brothers. I forgive you, my sisters." Now this is a man no apparent good reason. His whole life was taken away. And this dude said, "I am sorry. No, I forgive you." And that takes a real human being to say that sort of thing. And the fact that the Dalai Lama is enlightened like that is just amazing in my mind. I think it's spectacular. I think if I could be half as enlightened as that by the time I'm his age, he's 90 something, if I can be half as enlightened by the time I'm his age, I will be more than happy with how my life's going. Because as you guys have probably seen from previous videos, I've been very bullshittery and just chatting shit to people, this sort of thing. I don't want to do that anymore. Oh, it's good to have a laugh with someone, it's good to, have a little wind up, but when you take it too far, like, a lot of people were trying to offend me when I was a lot bigger, before I lost weight, and that's the reason I don't have the camera now, because I want to lose a little bit more weight and come back. So those people, those haters who are, no, they watch my videos, they're still subs to me, see the subs, they're still subs to me, who want me to fail, who want me to be depressed, who want me to do this, who want me to do that, and I'm not going to allow them. I'm not going to allow them at all. And the fact that they even just tune in to watch my video for 30 seconds, if that, that means more to me that a hater is still upset at me. I don't even know. I'll give examples. Gary, who I used to play with quite a lot. We used to get along really well. But one day he just became one of those people who, well, I shan't say it's personal business. Things were said and stuff happened with him and the law and things like that, but that's his business. I won't disclose it because I'm not like that. Things happened there that, affected his life, and it obviously came onto the console, and he started, being how he was to people, not very nice and being very spiteful and just, being a general asshole. And then people didn't want to talk to him anymore because of the shit he said and done to people, which, you don't want to, do you? You don't want to spend your time listening to someone being horrible to you. I mean, me, I can just block it out. He could sit in a party and try and offend me all day saying, "Oh, you're fat this," or "You're dyslexic, you're on the autistic spectrum," all this stuff. That doesn't bother me. Go ahead. Go ahead. I can have conversations with people and listen and understand. Like, I love time and space. So learning about the speed of light traveling through space compared to the relative dimensions and stuff like that is crazy. It's just watching all these different programs, learning about space, learning about time. I love learning about our planet. We've only explored like 3 or 4% of our ocean, and we've explored more space than we have of our ocean. For me, it's crazy. Why aren't we learning about the Earth? I understand it's more difficult to get into space than it is to Earth, I'm pretty sure. But like the Mariana Trench, there's a documentary on it the other night. Fantastic. I really enjoyed that. It's shown about how all these creatures are living off the volcanic rock and stuff down there. These crabs, which I've watched before, but only briefly when I was a lot younger. But there's a lot more detail on it now. You can read it on the internet. You can pick up a lot of stuff. And these crabs, the fact that they say it's unlivable conditions, 0% sunlight down there, 0%. So these crabs are like albino, neon white. Because obviously there's no sun pigmentation into their skin. There's no reason for those cells to be active, so they save energy by not having the pigmentation. And yeah, they're against this volcanic jet stream of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of Celsius degrees worth of water. It's practically coming out of steam, and they're living off the barnacles and the small creatures that have been formed over the millions of years down there, and they've become like the crabs and the certain types of jellyfish that are down there, and the certain types of crustaceans like the prawns and shrimp and things like that. It's just fantastic. Why we're not learning more about our planet is beyond me. We live here, we need to know about this sort of stuff. That's what I want to learn. I want to learn so much about where we live, who we are, how we came to be, where we're going, and where we'll eventually end up. It's like in the future, I can see, Earth being a magnificent, well it's a beautiful planet. It harbours life. We haven't found that anywhere else in the universe, life. Even if it's just at a microscopic bacterial level. Now, while we're on the subject of space and Earth and life and stuff, I was watching another documentary on planets and how they reckon that under Mars there could be frozen water that's turned into liquid by how quickly it rotates or expands and contracts and stuff like that. And there could be, even bacterial life on Mars. That would be amazing. And another theory is that, life on our planet could have come from Mars. Life on our planet could have come on an asteroid from Mars over to us, which I think that's an incredibly crazy theory in my mind. I think that's like, wow, okay, that's some next level stuff. But you never know, do you? You never know. In this day and age, the theories that we have and the possibilities / impossibilities are crazy. Also, Titan, one of, I think it's Jupiter? I think it's Jupiter or Saturn's moon, I can't remember because it was quite late when I was watching the documentary. So at work we have a period, I'll explain why I can watch this documentary, because at work we have a period of time where I can just connect to the internet and watch YouTube videos, and now I like to fill my head with knowledge, because knowledge keeps me awake. Some people will watch like Ali A videos and things like that, which, I understand you enjoy watching gaming videos, that might be why you're watching this one. You never know, you might just go scroll across my channel someday and seen this video one day. Oh, hello. What's this? What's this guy going on about? What's this guy talking about? But yeah, the way things are put forward, like the Saturn, I think it's Saturn or Jupiter's moon, Titan, they reckon could be, the oceans are like 5 or 6 times deeper than the ones on Earth. The deepest point on our planet is 11 kilometers, which is the Marianas Trench, which we've just been talking about. But the oceans on Titan, the contraction and the expansion of the planets between Saturn and Jupiter, I know it's between those two, it pulling it apart and squeezing it together, that ice doesn't form as ice. The top layer is ice where it's frozen over, but underneath, a few kilometers down, they reckon there could be liquid water with these alien-like stingray creatures swimming around, or, these giant squids and things like that. Things that if you put in Earth's oceans would be like having the dinosaurs back, etc. I think it's a phenomenal thing to think how much life is just in our solar system, the potential for it. I can't remember, is it Titan? No, it's not Titan. I think Titan's the one that's closest to being like Earth. I really can't remember. When I think of space and things like that, like, the known universe that we can observe is 21.1 billion light years across, or something crazy like that. Billion light years. It's crazy. Just to think to the end of our solar system takes 2 or 3 light years. I can't quite believe it. It takes 2 or 3 light years across our solar system. The aspect of having that, so I think that was incredibly well parked. I'm happy with that. But yeah, just how that is gonna affect how our planet is, in the future. Like when we first discover alien life, I really, touch wood, I get, I'm around when we first discover aliens, or when aliens first discover us. I hope it's a positive and pleasant experience. I hope it's not like, War of the Worlds or, D-Day, not D-Day, Independence Day, where they come down and just blast us with rays of death and kill us all and blah blah blah. I really hope it's a more enlightened experience. That's what I'd like. I mean, I'm ready to fight them if I need to, but I'd rather not. I won't lie, I'd rather not. I'd rather it be a peaceful experience where, you know, us and them can get along. And that's all I want. Like I say, from this world now, it's just a more peaceful experience. So with my job, I'm going to be saving up going to Tibet and stuff like that. Now, I want to start vlogging again. But I'm not going to do that just yet. I want to get, say, a GoPro or something like that. Something that's kind of more resilient. Because now I ride my bike. I want to go on push bike rides, basically. And, you know, I want to record where I go and what I do. And I want to keep my YouTube channel how I've got it now. I want to make sure everything's more live, more experienced. You know, I can jump in to this now and jump on GTA and just talk for 25 minutes. Whether you guys enjoy this or don't enjoy it, I don't know yet, because like I say, it's a new video, but it's something I want to put on my channel, and I want to find the audience who are going to enjoy it. That's what I want to do. I want to find people who are going to enjoy my stuff, not be one of the trends like, oh, I've got to jump on Fortnite to get myself a few thousand views. No, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I don't see Fortnite being a game for me that I'd enjoy. I don't like the idea of Battle Royale. Jump in, 100 people, kill each other, that's the end of it. Now, I do enjoy PUBG because it's on a more realistic level, where the graphics look a lot nicer. If you look at the graphics of that, it looks a lot different. Looks a lot different compared to Fortnite. Fortnite looks very cartoony to me. It really does. It looks really cartoony. So let's see if this dude wants a hand with this setup. In fact, hang on, I'm going to sell my weed business first. I'm going to shut down all my businesses here, and then recycle president presser. Oh, sorry, no, I have to think while I do stuff like this. I have to concentrate. Yeah, also, if anyone wants to join me on GTA, wants to earn some money, wants to have some fun, wants to chill, wants to run and gun, whatever, just hit me up with a message on Xbox. Like I say, my game tag's Big Bad Sesh. Everyone already knows. And if you want to have a chat like this, feel free to jump into a party. If you've got some more knowledge that you think I'd be really interested in, I'm happy to learn anything about anything. Even if it's to do with, I don't know, how Barbie dolls are made or some shit like that, I don't fucking know. I'm happy to just know these different processes, because it comes up in conversation. It's like with bees and things like that. I love how bees operate. The way they process pollen into honey, it's just fantastic. Fantastic experience just to know that some small creature, a small creature like that, like we as humans think we've done amazing and great things with, you know, our generations and our lives with, you know, the creation of buildings, skyscrapers, businesses, mining operations, exploring the oceans, now knowing every corner of the world, you know, at least at a basic level. Because let's be honest, we're never going to really understand the entire world. Because even in the Amazon jungle, look at that. That is a huge place where, you know, thousands and thousands of species are discovered each year. Whether it be microscopic species, whether it be a new species of snail, whether it be a new bird, new this, new that, whatever, because we just haven't investigated that. Even in the oceans, we discover a few thousand species a year. And new types of fish, new types of arthropods, squids, sea snails, sea urchins, things like that, crustaceans, the lot. We discover so many new things. So we as humans think we've done a lot, but look at how bees operate. They work as hard as they can all spring and all summer to make that honey to store up for the winter, so they can stay the size they are, you know, they can stay alive during the winter. And I think, you know, for a creature that small to have that sort of, people say, oh no, they're drone bees, they just work. No, there's the central intelligence behind it. It's like with us as the Earth. If you look at how we're run as a society, I don't agree with the capitalistic ideology, you know, of people having lots of money and people being poor. I think we should all be able to have the equal stature of, you know, the money and opportunities there in front of us. Now, I say that we all do have opportunities and we can make those in our life, like I'm doing now with my new job. I'm putting myself forward. I'm hopefully going to, you know, maybe be a nurse one day, maybe even go up to being a manager, earning a very good wage a month. But when it comes down to it, at the moment, I'm just a carrot sister, which I'm on minimum wage. Well, it's a bit above minimum wage, but a bit above minimum wage, and you know, I'm working hard for it. And you know, if I work hard enough, I'll eventually progress. Now, I'm constantly asking. The thing people need to do more often is ask once a week. If you're at a job and you want a promotion, you want a better wage, say, look, have you got any... Say if you work at a store, say if you just work at Walmart or Tesco's or Asda or whatever superstore you're at, whatever store you're at, whatever shop, just say, hey, are there any promotional positions going on in it? Work your ass off. Work overtime. Now, that's what I've been doing a lot of recently. Now, with the caring industry, you are only allowed to do a 12-hour shift. Then, by law, you have to have a break. By law, especially if you've done a night shift. So I'll do my night shift Thursday, and I will have to have Saturday off by law. Now, I know I could come home Saturday morning, have a sleep, go back out Saturday afternoon, and work the afternoon till 8 o'clock again. But by law, I'm not allowed to. So what I say by overtime is I work 3 weeks straight. Every day, even if some were half days, because they said I had to have some sort of a break, which, you know, admittedly, I'll never say I want the break, but I did probably need it. I was probably quite, I was probably, you know, dozing off a bit and quite, sort of thing, but there's so much more that you can be doing to progress. Like, people who, like, there's one guy at our works. Now, I get along with him really well. His name's Ashley. He's a really sound dude. This dude works 3 or 4 different jobs to earn a decent amount of money. And the reason he was able to afford his new car was because he'd worked 3 or 4 different jobs. He'd leave the care home, and it wouldn't technically be breaking the law, the work-wise, because he was working at a different place. He went and delivered food for a fast food restaurant. Like, I won't say McDonald's, but it's like a local chicken house or kebab store or Indian takeaway, things like that. And on these other days off, he'd be cleaning. He'd work as a janitor in another place. Now, you think, oh, janitor's a shit wage, delivery driver's a shit wage, being a healthcare assistant's a shit wage. But you put those 3 together, that becomes a good wage. That becomes a really good wage. Because you drop the time and money that you spend between... I need to check this really quickly, hang on, before I lose my train of thought. 5.2, and if this is 5.2, I know it's a bust. No, it's not 3.7, right? But yeah, the whole... I'm sorry, there are people saying, oh, I've not got enough money, and people say they can't get jobs. Keep applying, do anything you can. The one thing that it looks really good on my CV, and it's the reason I'm always ahead of everyone else, and this is thanks to my mother again. She told me, you do this and it will be one of the best things you can do. If you're going through a time of depression with no work, go and do charity work. Work at a local charity store that raises money for people. Go on charity walks, raise money, go around and say to people, look, I'm raising it this amount, this amount, this amount, this amount for these different charities. And that, on your CV, on your job reputation sheet, whatever it's called in the US, looks amazing. Employers will look at that and think, oh shit, this person has put their own time aside to work for free. So this person I know is going to turn up for work. That's the first thing people see on my sheet. Is in the United Kingdom, for people who watch us in other countries, we have a store called Oxfam, which is a charity that works with children and families in South Africa. So a certain amount of money at Christmas, they do a special donation tally, which one donation of $1 will help towards fresh, clean water resources in this certain place in Africa. £5 or $5 works towards giving a family, you know, some seeds and stuff so they can plant in education, in farming. You know, $10 puts a child through school for 6 months so they can learn something to potentially get themselves a better job. $20 buys them a full year's worth of education and a goat, so they're able to milk the goat for both milk and cheese, which is a huge profit. And at the end of it, they'll be able to slaughter the goat and sell and or keep the meat. And you know, if you give $50, it puts an amazing amount of money into the charity and helps raise and put all these different things forward, such as the waterworks, putting a pump in the ground. Now, when I've got enough money, and because I have a background in construction, I've done a bit of roofing work, I've done a bit of bricklaying work, I've done a lot of labouring work, and like I was saying, thank you to Mick for everything that he's done for me. Mick Craker, you're an absolute legend, dude, if you watch this. he helped me through, you know, hard time and things like that. And I want to go out and do this, do well digging and freshwater resources in Africa, because in this day and age, we as a human race should not have poverty on this planet. We should be helping people. We should be putting forward these, you know, water reserve projects and all these different things that should be done. Like, we take it in the United Kingdom and America, I can say as a fact. People who live in homes turn the tap, fresh, cold water. Might not always be hot, because some people do still live in very deprived areas. And I'm not saying this from a point of view where I've never been deprived, because I was going through a point in our lives where my mother wouldn't eat for a week and she'd feed me water and flour pancakes. That's how poor we were. We are not in that state anymore, because I've kept my head screwed on. And I work as hard as I can. Me and my fiance, we work as hard as we can to pay the rent, pay the bills, and put food on the table. We both do the same sort of work. We're both healthcare assistants for the elderly, people with dementia and needs who otherwise, you know, wouldn't be helped if they were just left alone. You know, they sort of just deteriorate and not have anyone help them. So we, you know, we feed people, clean people, etc., etc. And there needs to be more of that in the world. If people are struggling for jobs both in the United States and the United Kingdom, I can tell you now, you don't have to be qualified. They will give you training, they will teach you. Become a carer. Now you might say, oh, I can't deal with wiping bums and stuff like that. Cleaning residents, washing and bathing them. If you're a man, washing a man, for me, the first time, I washed a gentleman. He's a lovely chap. He's one of my favourite clients that we have at the care home. But when I washed him in the bath for the first time, like, you have gloves on, you have the apron on at the front so you don't get wet, etc., etc. It was such a weird experience, washing another man, let alone washing another woman, because for a man, you know, you're going to feel a little bit more at ease with that because it's the opposite sex. Whereas with a man, it's like, whoa. And the same goes for a woman. Like, my other half said this to me. She said it was really weird washing another woman the first time she washed another woman. You know, it's a bit easier with a man because, you know, she's been with me for 8 years this year, I think. And yeah, that time that's been put together and the time you spend with that resident, you eventually becomes natural. Wiping their bottom, cleaning them becomes the same as doing it to yourself. Like cleaning your own bum after you've been for a poo. Yes, they might be a bit more messy because they have bowel problems, etc., etc. But being a carer is one of the best things you could do. If not, just find someone that needs an activities coordinator, someone who'll go in, have a sing along with the residents, do some drawing, do some puzzles, have a quiz. Like our place, we have a lady who comes in called Zoe. She is fantastic. She's so full of life. She brings in these big giant balloons and all the residents are pushing them around the lounge and they're having the best time. They're enjoying it, and it brings so much satisfaction. This brings me to another point. This brings me right back to where we started with the anxiety and the depression. This brings me back to the main point at the beginning. I know I've gone on and ranted about a lot of different things, but the self-satisfaction I get from being a carer, just having one of my favourite residents, just by having her say, thank you for that cup of tea, love, it was lovely, thank you for helping me. Now don't get me wrong, she does have a moments where she'll turn and she'll say, I hate you, you're vile, you're horrible, you're this, you're that, and they all will. It's part of the dementia, it's part of, you know, them not being 100% right in their mindset, and they're not going to be, and probably never will be, because of the dementia. And it's a horrible thing to see, but once you get used to it and you get past the barriers of them shouting, you say, oh, you're a bastard, you're horrible, F off, you stupid CUN, and things like that. The satisfaction I get from that job is just, it's bar none the nicest thing to have someone just smile at you at the end of the day and say, well done, good job. Even if it's one of the residents, they'll forget they've said it to you tomorrow, but you know they mean it. In that moment in time, in that mind state they're in, you know they mean it. Like there was one old boy who recently passed away, God bless him. Not by law, I'm not allowed to mention names or anything like that. But he passed away, and I was really upset. He was one of my favourites. He was one of my favourite people to work with. because he was quite difficult for a lot of the people, but because I took my time with him, I was a little bit slower in the mornings with him, which I did get told off for, like, oh, you need to be a bit more quicker with him in the mornings, but, you know, this chap's paying X amount of money to be here at night. You know, he deserves to take his time. He's lived his life. He's done this, he's done that. But the last thing he said to me the night before he passed away was, thank you for everything. You're one of my favorites. Thank you for helping me. Everything you do, it really helps me. And now, he wasn't at the worst stage of dementia, which a lot of the residents are. He could remember quite a lot of things. And once you'd been there a couple of weeks, he would remember your face and he would remember your name. Now, he called me. I say called because he's passed, God bless him, and I'm getting a bit emotional talking about it, so I'll divert off the subject in a minute. But he said to me, thank you ever so much for everything you do, it means a lot. And just seeing him smile, giving him a hug and everything like that, and then the next day he passed very peacefully, which is, you know, how you'd want people like that to go. People with dementia, it's a horrible thing that happens to the mind. It's a horrible thing, because they won't remember what you said to them 20 minutes ago. They're living 10 plus years in the past. So there's one lady who was in the police force for a while, and she was in the criminal investigations department, and she tells me all about all these cases she'd been on and undercover operations and things like that, but she couldn't remember that I'd offered her a cup of tea not 5 minutes before. I said, would you like a cup of tea? She said, oh, no, thank you, love, I'm alright. And then 10 minutes later, she says, oh, are we having tea soon? They can't remember, and that's the sad thing about it. That's the thing that sort of makes you feel, you know, quite, not shitty, but, you know, makes you feel for them. Makes you feel, you know, not depressed, not upset, but glad you're there to help them. And that's the basic lesson today. Like I say, if you have any problems with anxiety, depression, please send me a message. Please hit me up. I've got a few good friends who are happy to help talk through anxiety and depression, who've been through a lot. It's becoming more and more of an issue with this technology. This is why I'm trying to use this technology for a positive thing. It's why I stay off of Facebook the majority of the time. It's why I don't listen to what people say to me online, because if someone, like, for a child to be defriended on Facebook these days, it's catastrophic for them. They can't believe it. It's like, oh my god, I've been unfriended, no, and you know, all this lot. But anyway, yeah, I'll leave it here. Thank you guys for watching. If you are new to the channel, please feel free to subscribe. If you'd like to see more from me, hit that notification bell so every new video that comes up, you'll be notified of it. If you enjoyed today's video, please make sure to hit that thumbs up. I appreciate it. It helps me a lot. And as always, I hope you have a wonderful day. If you have any problems with anxiety, depression, keep your head up, stay strong, work through it, and have a wonderful day, my lovers.